We are Team 2467C, and this video is for the 2020 Create US Open Robotics Championships.
Welcome to our postseason wrap-up and national championship pregame show.
My name is Ethan, and I'm in grade 10. I'm the captain of the team, one of the main builders, designers, and drivers, and I also help to document the design process.
My name's Isaiah. I'm in 10th grade. I'm one of the builders. I played a large part in the design process, and I'm one of the drivers.
My name is Christine. I'm in 12th grade. I'm the lead programmer. I help to document the process, and I'm the drive team coach.
My name is Roland. I'm in 10th grade. I help design the robot and scout the matches, and I'm also one of the drivers.
And my name is Dylan. I'm in 10th grade. I'm our main scout, our second day programmer, and I also drive.
This was our rookie season, so we didn't expect to win anything. And now we're on our way to the national championships. How do you explain that, Isaiah?
Well, 4 things really. Great programming, great coaching, lots of perseverance, and lots of hard work. It's been a wild ride.
So what would you say was the most difficult task in building our robot?
It was probably digging through that junkyard of parts we had stored in the back for 5 years. That was terrible.
Yeah, but the worst was trying to build the robot with those ancient parts. We barely had any aluminum parts or rubber bands.
Hey, those were both pretty bad, but I'd say it was even worse that our club wasn't chartered until October. We couldn't start building anything until we sorted through all of the paperwork.
That's where it helped that we had a great coach. He signed us up for all the league matches and told us to get a working drivetrain so that we could at least compete. Show everybody our first match.
See that drivetrain without any parts? That was us. We could score a maximum of 2 points and it caused defensive chaos for the rest of the match.
Yeah, we were pretty awful at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
But that's what we had to work with, and I think we did a fairly good job at making it work.
Yeah, there were pros and cons of working with all of those steel parts.
On the negative side, our robot was super heavy, so that made it pretty slow and actually damaged some of our wheels.
I know there were so many times where our wheels were literally falling apart. On top of that, we bent a bunch of our drive shafts.
That was so bad, we had to change out the gear cartridges for each of the motors.
But this made our robot a lot stronger and faster, and we were able to maintain those speeds for a longer period of time.
And although the weight of the robot was an issue, the steel chassis really did help improve our stability.
That's true. Nobody tipped us over yet, knock on wood.
I agree. Our drivetrain has been one of our robot's best design features.
Okay guys, are we gonna keep talking, or are we gonna show them what we built?
Team 2467C would like to introduce you to our robot. His name is Joe.
Joe uses a holonomic X drive, and for the heavy lifting of this challenge, he uses a 6-bar lift and a custom conveyor belt intake mechanism. Say hi, Joe.
We chose the X drive because it gives us the maximum maneuverability and best control. It was also a pain in the butt to program because, as you can see here, none of the wheels move in the same direction.
And if it wasn't bad enough, VEX code V5 blocks and text were just introduced the same week as we finished building our drivetrain.
There are no V5 tutorials anywhere, so we had to figure out V5 text completely on our own.
Okay, enough with the challenges. Let's actually talk about some of the strengths of our robot.
Well, because we were never going to make those big stacks, we chose to make ourselves the best alliance partner we could be.
Our autonomous performance often wins us the point bonus. We place cubes in towers to add a multiplier to our total score, and we place a mean defense when necessary.
A lot of teams never caught on that this was our strategy, and we ended up taking it all the way to the semifinals in our league and state championships.
Christine doesn't want to brag too much here, but one of our greatest strengths was her programming, way better than most teams.
That's for sure.
And another strength of our robot was the drivetrain. Although we may have had some issues getting it started in the beginning, the extra maneuverability has definitely paid off.
I'm so glad we chose to use a 6-bar lift. It was more customizable, so we could use it for stacking and towers.
That's true, but the weight of it was a serious problem at the start. We had to give it a 25-to-1 gear ratio just to get it to move. I mean, that's almost unheard of in this competition.
Yeah, but once we did that, it worked really well. Remember that one time we had to help get our alliance partner operate? I think we had one of the strongest lifts in the state. We could reach every tower but the tallest.
We had plans on increasing the intake capacity, but we chose to limit ourselves at 1. This was due to the overall weight, the limited amount of parts, and a desire not to ruin our autonomous program.
Well, what could we do to improve the robot?
Aluminum parts.
You know, I'd say new parts, period. We've been working on fundraising, and we're looking for sponsors. So we really hope to have a better selection of parts and times for next year's challenge.
We could also use sensors. Our junkyard of parts never had any working sensors, so everything relied solely on the precision of the code, which was based on a lot of trial and error.
I'd also like to improve our scouting. Even though we're a first-year team, we had a scouting system in place to help us select good alliance partners.
This year, we created a Google form that our members could fill out during the matches.
And that information was automatically updated to a Google Sheet.
The downside though was that we had to organize the data manually.
That's why for next year, we're currently in the process of creating a mobile app that can effectively filter the data and show the strengths of our potential alliance partners.
Another thing that would help next year is to get an earlier start. See, this year we were off to such a late start that it actually hurt us because we weren't able to get our robot in working order before our first competition.
Yep, instead we kept having to rush just to get something done for a competition. We then take it all apart, make some modifications, and get it working just in time for the next competition.
It really was a trial by fire kind of design process.
Speaking of design process, let's actually take a look at our engineering design notebook.
Wait, you know that's way too long for this short video, right?
Yeah, but we could at least show the highlights.
We'll put it up on the big screen so that it's easier to see.
Voila! We had 3 major build iterations, along with a handful of smaller improvements. We also had a lot of major programming iterations.
The first 2 designs included the drivetrain-only version we showed you earlier, and then the drivetrain with the lift actually attached to it.
Our third change was to improve our overall weight and structural integrity.
We had to find a more balanced position for our lift and add more supports.
As for programming, V5 blocks initially made our holonomic design function like a poorly constructed tank track. This had to change.
After the first competition, we switched to V5 text to increase functionality and program the controller correctly.
Then we started working on our autonomous programs, and I remember when we were so happy when we actually managed to get 1 block pushed in the scoring zone.
Over the next few weeks, we modified these programs to include 1 block in the tower and 2 blocks in the scoring zone, for a total of 4 points plus a multiplier for our partners.
That made our robot very unique. We haven't seen any other team scoring in the tower in the 15-second autonomous period.
For programming skills, we built off the 4-point program, then it went to 6, then 8, then 12, and just in time for our league championship matches, we went to 15 points.
We still had a few seconds left though, so we're hoping to unveil a 20-point autonomous in Iowa.
Yeah, well that is if TSA doesn't destroy our robot like they did last time we traveled.
Okay. So what community involvement related to robotics has our team had?
There are 7 elementary and 2 intermediate schools that feed into our school. This year, we established relationships with 4 of those schools to provide robotics mentorship, volunteer assistance, and shared resources.
And we're actually working on plans to invite them to things like workshops, field trips, build days, and even practices.
And we intend to expand this outreach even more. Not only will this improve STEM education in the community, it will also boost our club's enrollment with people who already have experience with VEX or VEX IQ. We really hope that this will make us a stronger club in years to come.
This year, we dedicated nearly 20% of our efforts into this kind of outreach, and we hope this will continue.
This concludes our postseason wrap-up and national championships pre-game show.
You probably still have a lot of questions about Team 2467C and Joe. Please look for us at the 2020 Create US Open Robotics Championships, and we'll be happy to answer them all.
See you in Iowa!